Today, we are going to talk about reasons why bringing your authentic self to work may not be the best idea in the world.
That's right. Where to begin?
Where would
So
you like to
many
begin?
stories.
I think first let's start with a definition, right? So authentic,
right.
this idea of authentic leadership is that
It's a term in the literature.
it's a term in the literature, but when we say literature or academic
research.
research,
It hasn't quite broken through to the top journals.
it hasn't broken through the top journals, and the research that's been there, it's been very difficult to define as a term, define its antecedents, define its outcomes. Like, all the literature has been super murky.
Yeah.
But the main idea behind like this, it's almost like the researchers believe it must be true, and so they keep pursuing it. And we see this every once in a while. Groupthink has a little bit of truth to it, but there's a lot that never actually gets validated because it's actually a super complex model.
It's riddled in the scientific literature on leadership because it's servant leadership, it's transformational leadership, it's all these
overlapping, so you don't have a clear concept. So that's the problem with it. The definition of it is bringing your true self to work. So right there, let me just stop you. What is your true self? Because like all of us have like many, many, many multiple selves. We have the self we bring to grandma. We have the self we bring to work. There's all sorts of that going on. We can talk more about that. So that's the definition. And it has all these problems in the academic research. The reason why people want to believe it is because the hope is that it would increase performance, reduce turnover, and get people to be more committed. Because we do know that when somebody feels accepted at work, that that sense of belonging is very sticky.
Yeah, and it's a little easier if you don't have to hide important facets of yourself.
And there are certain personalities for which hiding certain facets about yourself are more difficult than others. It's called self-monitoring.
Timothy Snyder, I think. Or what's his first name? It may not be Snyder. Mark Snyder.
I think it's Mark Schneider. It's definitely Schneider.
Yeah, it's Mark Snyder. Timothy is a political science guy.
And you're looking at a low self-monitor and a high self-monitor.
Yellow.
He's so high that he knew.
I lied on the scale.
He lied on the last couple of them because he didn't want to get a perfect score.
I didn't want to be the only 25 out of 25 on the scale, so I lied on two of the questions.
That's the problem with knowing where the scale is taking you. Right. You wind up deciding that you can't even admit to yourself that you are an extreme self-monitor. He's like the chameleon.
We should do an entire talk on self-monitoring, but not here.
Not here. But the point is that for low self-monitors such as myself, it can be really difficult to basically, it feels very inauthentic to not just be who you think you need to be in the moment, behave in the way that internally you think is right. So you can see how like low self-monitors and like the idea of authentic leadership would just like line up perfectly. But
right. It's like giving permission for people to not have to compensate for their instinctual behavior.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example.
Go ahead.
So when I was going around for academic jobs, I went to a particular university that has a Catholic bend to it. And, I'm fairly naughty. I like to swear, sometimes just for fun. So anyway, I went into this thing and like every word that was coming out of my mouth, I was like super monitoring because I'm in this environment that is, I should have known better. Not going to be a super great fit for me. And I remember walking out of that day and just being exhausted and driving away from that university and saying, I don't care if they give me a job or not. I cannot work there. This is just too incredibly exhausting. Now, flip to the other side. I went to a job interview in Louisiana.
Known for naughtiness.
That's why I like to go to Louisiana. And felt completely comfortable with that whole group still loved them actually and knew that that was the good fit for me. So, the point is that self-monitoring is super exhaustive. And that's one of the reasons why
people glom onto this idea
of authenticity.
I can just be myself. What could go wrong?
That's right.
Ask yourself that, y'all. What could go wrong if I just can be myself? The answer is everything. And so we're doing our job by tackling this topic, authentic leadership, because you're probably never going to look up the science on this. The science on this is decent, but not great.
No, it's actually...
And it's conflicting.
Yeah, it's conflated.
So it's murky, but if you punch up authentic leadership or is authentic leadership scientific, it's going to come up yes, but this is the yes but conversation. Google's going to say it's scientific, but it's not established science. There's still a lot of back and forth on it. And in our look at it, we don't think that it's useful. In fact, we're having this conversation because for the 99.9999% of the world that never reads scientific journals, all you hear is the name, authentic leadership, and you think, oh, well, this science shows that I can just be myself and there's good outcomes. And the purpose of this podcast is to say, that's not true. You cannot have as your governing theory for being a manager that I just need to be myself. Because there will be a multitude of environments where you being yourself is going to cause you to not fit right, meaning not fit the moment, not meet the moment, and to choose the wrong behavior. You're going to pick something instinctual and not something learned.
Yeah, occasionally you get lucky. Occasionally you wind up being in Louisiana.
Just what's needed.
And it's just what you needed. It's good. It's really just an amazing fit.
Right. Yeah.
But that's luck. And the next group that you wind up with, even at the same place as you continue in your career, it's very unlikely that you're going to get that same setup.
And your story is an important one, as you just said. It's that first college that was very Catholic. That's not a good fit, and fit does matter. And fit takes labor. When it doesn't fit, it takes all this monitoring and all this adaptive behavior that requires you going against the grain. And we're not saying that that isn't important, just that if you go to the extreme and think, well, I don't ever have to monitor or adapt my behavior, basically, I can just be myself, I can be authentic, then you're going to run into a variety of situations and occurrences where you're going to underperform because you're letting go of all of the restraint that functional adults and good managers use all the time. Right. Or I choose not to say something.
I mean, one of the things that makes you a good leader or manager, however you want to look at it, managers are a type of leader.
Same thing. We don't distinguish.
You have to have emotional regulation.
Yeah.
Because
I think so.
What you do stands out more to the people you're leading because they're following your cues. And so you can't just show up and be yourself.
Yeah.
While at the same time, as you rise in an organization, you basically become less and less constrained by resources. You have more and more control over resources. And this is Pfeffer's work on power, a small piece of it. It's a very good book, by the way.
Yeah, like the seven something of power.
Types of power.
Something like that.
It's
Secrets of Power. We'll put it in
good.
the notes.
Yeah, very good book.
Jeffrey Pfeffer out of Stanford.
Yes.
One of your boyfriends.
Yeah.
I think he likes Sutton too.
A boyfriend of the mind.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. Just for clarity. I know you understand.
I understand.
Just
Trust
for clarity.
Me, I understand.
Yeah. No, I like anytime a Pfeffer or Sutton book comes out, I'm like, yay.
Yeah, they're great
Good
academics.
reading.
Yeah.
So anyway, his book, some of his research says that, it's not that power so much corrupts, it's that power exposes.
Or reveals,
yeah.
Yeah.
Because basically as you rise and you get more and more control over the resources, there's less motivation for you to self-monitor because you can basically do what you want to some degree. Again, like this is a scale, but you can get away with a lot more without having to sort of do the influence tactics of people who are on the lower rungs. At the same time, that really to be a good leader, you need to be actually paying attention to your people. So it's this paradox that's happening.
Yes, that just at the very time you would benefit more from regulating and moderating your behavior.
Because people have more visibility on you.
Paying more attention.
Yeah.
You're instead, not only are you buying yourself a new Beamer with your new position and new power, but you're...
While laying other people off. Sometimes.
Letting more... You're basically not restraining yourself as much as you did to earn those positions. And that's like, that is the riddle on top of the conundrum, is that the riddle is, as Pfeffer says, the more power you get, the less you use this very restraining type behaviors that help you accumulate that power. And the more you become exposed as your jerk behaviors come out, whatever's
truly
underlying.
You.
Yeah.
Some people, some people are delightful.
Yeah, many people are. I would say.
Many people, yeah. Most people are a mixed bag.
Yeah, and they've been covering up the bad.
Yeah, and some people are absolute jerks.